Today it's time for what is supposed to be an amazing series of StarCraft 2. It's time for a best of 5, a semi-finals match from the GSL Code S between the Terran and the Zerg. Two absolute channel favorites, and well, you know what, also two of my personal favorites. We're in the bottom right-hand corner, playing in red. The player who has won more GSL events than any other under the sun. We're looking inside of the main base of Maru, by many considered to be the greatest StarCraft 2 player ever. His opponent, a Zerg player on fire, somebody who's just been mixing up the meta a ton lately, and Terran players around the world seem to be terrified. We have SHIN, apparently returning to the username SHIN again. After playing under Ragnarok for the last couple of weeks. Apparently we're back to, I don't know, I don't get it either, but it doesn't really matter all too much. SHIN is an absolute beast. So these games, of course, were played for the GSL, and there is actually a chance, now that I'm talking about it, that the players were given accounts for this particular tournament by the organizers of the GSL, so they can go ahead and, well, at the very least, always make sure they invite the correct player into the lobby. They can make sure that they get the job done properly, because sometimes players will show up and they will have, like, a nickname that is a bunch of lowercase L's and capital I's and all the rest of it, right? Like, they have to play under a barcode idea. SOS. SOS has been playing with our barcode a little bit too much lately. Anyways, this particular series determines who moves on to the grand finals, and from what I understand, it is a phenomenal match. I haven't seen it yet myself, so I'm excited to find out. What we do have, though, is a double barrack start here for Maru, and this is a little bit odd. We see double barrack starts with Reapers quite frequently, but whenever it's played, we always see the structures as part of the natural wall-off. The main issue, of course, is that you want to be able to keep a command center on the low ground safe. And if you don't build your Rexes over there, when you do ultimately make the command center, and if hypothetically now you go up against like a pool first build, with a very quick Zergling speed, you, well, find yourself in a whole world of trouble. Command center on the low ground right now will indeed reveal to SHIN that there is very likely a second Rex out there. He did not commit to really quick Zergling speed, though. Instead, he decided to go for a fast third hatchery. It's a little risky. How many Reapers will Maru make? Because if Maru goes, like, he cannot go up to, like, 5 of them comfortably and still get Stimpack done in a reasonable time. If he makes, like, another batch of them right now, yeah, so he's going for number 4. He might be able to just secure the kill on the third base right from the get-go. Because link speed is still a very long ways off. And obviously this is quite a distance as well from the actual natural expansion. Still though, this is good. This is real nice right here. Ooh, for SHIN. Almost securing a kill on one of the Reapers. Ultimately, it's only 2 Zerglings going down. Somehow, some way, these lads over here did escape death. Now we have 4 Reapers. They can kill it eventually. Like, you can see the HP dropping on the hatchery itself. But it's gonna take them forever, and link speed is now on the horizon. Okay, that's a curious move, killing the creep tumor and then walking into their own grenade. Apparently Maru has decided he wants to go for some guaranteed damage before metabolic boost ultimately shows up. I wonder though if he could have committed to killing the hatch. Maybe he wouldn't be able to quite get the job done, but it'd be far lower. So when like a follow-up Banshee or maybe a couple Hellions show up, they might be able to finish the job. It would also have forced out a lot more Zerglings, I think, from SHIN. Although, you know what? As far as Zergling numbers go, we have a lot of them already available, as SHIN is trying to prevent these lads from going home. Revenge for the bruised-up hatchery. The Reapers will try and throw some grenades at their own feet. Most of the Zerglings, though, too cool to look at explosions. Lift the depot! Oy, oy, oy. Almost a disaster right there. Honestly, that would have been the end of game number 1 if those Zerglings would have just streamed into the base right now. Maru leaving it up to the last millisecond, it seems. Okay. So this is, from SHIN's perspective, where the game can actually begin. Right? He's been a bit of a punching bag up until this point. He almost got a chance at already obtaining the victory. Did not quite happen. He's just going to try and use these links now to get some damage done. I mean, it's still possible for these to actually be extremely annoying here for Maru. Ultimately, though, this exchange was actually much better for the Terran than I think most of us would have anticipated. That is 24 Zerglings there for 2 SCVs. This is pretty good, actually. I don't think we can really complain about that all too much. New Zerglings right now actually need to be produced because of the loss on the other side of the map. In hindsight, SHIN definitely should have just run back home. Anyhow, he's already got the third base nearly saturated. A fourth hatchery could even already be coming up. Even though Maru has been struggling getting his own low ground expo done, he did go for a really quick third orbital command. So having this extra orbital out is going to increase his production quite nicely. Hellions show up, but honestly, these late Hellions... We have a couple more Zerglings yet again. These late Hellions, I don't really like them too much after a Reaper start. Mostly because they just don't achieve that much. Like, they fall off the longer that the game goes on. And obviously, when you first dedicate a lot of time into a Reaper production, they are just so much later. Same for this Banshee. This Banshee is like... it's like a full minute later than it ordinarily would arrive. It ends up going down with only a single drone kill. I can't say I love this follow-up here for Maru all too much. He also did make a Raven. I guess that's maybe the idea behind still making all of these Hellions. The idea is obviously sniping the creep tumors, because a Raven is a detector. But there's indeed the fourth hatchery coming up. Lara's already nearly done. Triple additional barracks, though, inside of the main base. As Maru is really kicking in his production, as he's also now trying to land the third base over here on the low ground. +1 carapace. I would imagine Roach Speed is going to be the next stage in SHIN's master plan. 100 gas available. Yep, metabolic boost is going to be followed here by Glial Reconstitution, his second movement speed upgrade in this particular game. And this is going to line up reasonably well. So these two upgrades are going to be done right around the same time, meaning that SHIN could go and commit to an actual proper attack. Especially if he's going to be forced to make roaches right now. Maru is going to test the waters. So Stimpack is done, but 1-1 is still a whiles away? Sure, it's still a whiles away. Same for combat shields, right? Like 1-1, it's not, I don't really love it too much. Still though, a lot of the Zerglings are currently on the other side of the map. They were thinking about going in for a counter move. Ooh, Banshee, and then the Raven also ends up falling. What about the hatchery itself? Is there enough firepower? Wait a second, maybe those Reapers from earlier were onto something, as Maru does indeed finish up the expo. These Zerglings were on their way back home to try and defend against the push, but I guess SHIN gave up on it and decided to just go for some guaranteed damage over at the third base of the Terran instead. Drones in the meantime, though, have found a new safe haven over here on the left side of the map. Maru, lift the command center! Oh, Maru! Oh, that is a tremendous blunder. That is so uncommon. In 2026, that's actually a crazy big mistake. Maru not lifting the command center. It's one of those things, man. I'm actually a little flabbergasted. I have not seen that in a match of this caliber in literally years. He must have pressed the button and then looked away. Probably busy microing on the other side of the map. Never quite confirming that indeed the command center did lift off. But that has just now taken the winds out of Maru's sails. That is a crazy big mistake. He's also late on the armory. So that means that +2/+2 is not going to be able to start at a reasonable time either. This now is going to mean that Maru is A, going to fall behind economically. B, his army is going to be smaller. And C, his upgrades are going to be late. So what do you still have as Terran? Generally speaking, you need to lean into at least one of those main pillars of the game. He doesn't have a tech lead either. That would be the fourth pillar, but he doesn't have that going for himself either. This is going to be an uphill battle, but if anybody can do it, it would be Maru. Still though, this has now given, well, SHIN so much wiggle room. I wonder if SHIN is just gonna commit to an all-in from here. I mean, it wouldn't even really be an all-in. He's got 73 workers on the back of this. Yeah, this wasn't the original plan. And it's a bit of a funky attack, but SHIN has just got so much more income that he may as well test the waters. He could even throw down an infestation pit right now and go into a hive while he's going for this push. Normally, this would be an all-in if Terran did not lose the third command center, but in this instance, I guess it's just dedicated pressure, although it's a big attack. Zerg flanking it from all sides. Siege tanks are now, for the most part, already gone. Some SCVs are pulled as well. That is the final tank over here, and I think with that command center snipe, Maru's chances have just gone basically down to 0. Even if he cleans all of this up, which he may very well do, now it's also a ton of SCVs falling. Infestation pit indeed added into the mix. A couple workers still trying their best to see if they can potentially get rid of this entire Zerg army. But that is an absolute disaster for Maru. Uncharacteristic mistake. Sometimes Especially when you watch a lot of pro-level StarCraft, you kind of forget about the fragility of not just Terran, but also Zerg Protoss in general. A game of StarCraft, it can be over in a heartbeat, and while we are not used to seeing the top-tier players make big errors like not lifting off their command centers, it does happen from time to time, apparently, and, well, it is effectively game over immediately. Maru's gonna test the waters with a triple medevac drop towards the left side of the map. He's kicking himself, though. He knows how big of a mistake that, of course, was. He's kicking himself. He's gonna just test the waters. He doesn't want to give up easy, but this is an unlosable situation for SHIN. Game number 1 goes in favor of the Zerg. Game number 2, we find ourselves now on the Old Republic. And now SHIN is gonna go for one of his new signature moves. Man, SHIN has really been stepping it up lately. I've been loving what he's been putting down. It's just incredible. So he obtained the victory in a very solid manner in game number 1. I almost kind of wonder if, like, playing this much more crazy style over the last month or two has kind of opened his eyes a little bit, and he realized that he can actually just play straight up games against the top tier contenders as well. Because the thing is, right, when you get this image of being a bit of a madman, like, for example, Hero, like, for example, Dark, right? You know the players I'm talking about. When you get that image, everybody has to adjust. And when you then go back to playing your tried and true strategy, like what he did in the previous game, it's still something that will stick in the back of Maru's mind. He's not just going to be able to go for a command center first every time, which is a strategy Maru would do against the likes of, for example, Serral. Hatchery over here does not get spotted. It's a double Rex start yet again. So how does this work out? A double barracks opener against a proxy hatchery. Obviously, this will get killed eventually. My main question is what happens if the Reapers go across the map? Because obviously link speed is going to be incredibly late. Likewise, though, what if you don't address the hatchery over here and Brenda just poops out a couple creep tumors around your base? You're never going to be able to take the low ground expo. This will be the first time that Maru sees what he's playing against. I actually think going on the offensive is probably the way to go. Yeah. Because there's just not a lot of defenses available yet. What is this? A Roach Warren? Oh, it has to be a Roach Warren, no? He wanted to. I think he wanted to, but he decided to make some Lings instead. That was probably the original plan, but now he realizes that this is indeed a double Rex start. Okay. Oh, ooh, Maru almost making another mistake. You cannot be losing an early game Reaper to a bunch of units that do not have ranged attacks. Brenda is out now. And the Roach Warren, by the way, it did start up. SHIN is not committing to a queen and just delaying the expo. SHIN is actually committing to an all-in. He's going to be building a stupid lot of units, build roaches on the other side of the map, potentially even morph in a Ravager or two, and then flood the map with Zerglings from, yeah, both his own main base and his natural. His worker count is not going to be something he can easily recover from, but Maru just has no idea how many units there really are. He has no clue whether or not this is a committed push here from SHIN, or if this is just made to delay things. So look at Jimmy. Jimmy is scouting. Jimmy, run! Jimmy! Okay, Jimmy made it. Everybody rejoice. Jimmy is inside of the bunker. At the very least, this will make things a little bit more obvious for Maru. He decides to start up a second bunker now, too. Looks like the Reapers, in the meantime, in the middle of the map did get cleaned up by the Speedlings. There's no Overlord nearby. Okay, I was gonna say, Alto, get over here. Hey, Alto the Overlord, get over here. Come on. We should have moved that one in position a little sooner. Still, though, the Roaches are just poking away at the SCVs. Ravager, ooh, not microed back fast enough. 6 workers go down, but that is certainly not enough. Good defense here so far by Maru. Getting the Overlord here. Yeah, gunning down Alto is the smart move. Jimmy may live so that Alto can die. I kind of feel like Overlord should die like a balloon, you know? Like they should like, bang! I used to cry, actually, when I was a kid, whenever a balloon would pop. It scared the crap out of me, man. I still kind of cry sometimes. Yeah. Yeah, no, I still don't like it. All right. So now what do we do? Where do we take this game from here? What is the best course of action? Again, It's unexplored territory. Even though we're not even 5 minutes in, how do you now take your own natural? SHIN is mostly now committing to a little bit of droning and a little bit of unit production. Queen is here. Oh, I love the idea of Brenda just taking a crap at the edge of the creep. It's gonna force a scan. Yeah, and a scan at this point is a luxury. Brenda's just... No, I think you've walked home. Oh, Brenda's actually gonna poop her way home. Yeah, she's gonna poop and then walk home. Smart. That's what I usually like to do as well. Couple more seconds. It's getting risky though, Brenda. Brenda, come on. Brenda, go! And run! Run! Yes! Oh, it's so funny because when you play Zerg, you know this feeling. You know that you want to do it, but you also know that the odds of her making it back are not very big. Alright, Maru has to now deal with multiple creep tumors though. And this is incredibly annoying. He cannot actually use scan until the orbital command is landed. This one doesn't have enough energy, so he needs to somehow land this orbital because he cannot use the spells on the orbital command until the thing lands. And there's no space. You can't land it here anywhere. Oh, this is so awkward, Maru. Ah! Now he scans. The one over here, though. Okay. Ugh. Oh, this is a disaster. I really dislike all of this for Maru, man. It just slowed him down so much. Okay, let's check in on Brenda. Brenda, okay. She decided to take a scenic route. She's looking at the local wildlife. Here's the LowkoTV. We have another one over here. Maybe there are a couple. Who knows? Hard to say. Oh, dude. Okay. We have a porta potty, I guess, for Brenda, because it's a very long trek. Now, Maru needs to get some damage done. And you know what? We may be fancy here. Everybody's got a plan until the man with the gun shows up. Nice. This is the beginning of something here for Maru. Getting the delay on the opponent's third base is big. Has Maru started up a third command center of his own? No, he has not. He hasn't been able to afford it. Going after the drone line right now, too. Roach speed is coming, but I mean, this is a Terran on 2 bases. 4 siege tanks on 2 bases. Soon to be 5? I don't think you can break it. Brenda! Brenda, get out of there! Brenda, no! Brenda! Well, at least she died doing what she loves. Kind of like, Tyrion Lannister. No, not Tyrion. What's Tyrion's dad called in a game of... Okay, well, I don't know. Charles Dance. What Tywin? Is it Ty... Anyways, Brenda did the same thing. And you know what? I respect it. These Marines, though, are vicious. Yeah. Ooh, dude, this is actually some of the most value I have seen Terran Marines get in a while. They got a hatchery, a whole lot of roaches on Ravagers. And even though Maru has been in a horrible spot for almost the entirety of this game, this is a scary Terran army. +1 is done, combat shields is done, Stimpack is done, we have medevacs, we have siege tanks, we have Marines. Yeah, it is time to punch. It is an uphill battle though, quite literally. Fighting up the ramp here is tough. That could turn into SHIN saving grace here. He needs to keep biling though. He cannot let those siege tanks. Oh no, he needs to bile the siege tanks. Oh, the Marine count is dwindling. That may also actually turn out to be really good for SHIN. Because as soon as the Marines are gone, he can just jump the tanks. Third command center, though, was built. It is now flying on over to the bottom of the map. And this is Maru here, not going down without a fight. It's messy. You can see that SHIN is starting to mess up as well. Okay, siege tanks are going to be salvaged. Most importantly, though, for the Zerg player, he does survive. Second engineering bay right now. We're going to have to start up an armory as well if you haven't already. We do already have an armory. Okay, +1 starts up in that one too. All of the creep over here that Brenda put down has indeed been picked up. And that means that nearly 10 minutes into the game, we are now transitioning towards a bit of a macro match. Beautiful game, honestly, so far. Like, all jokes aside, this is such a difficult setup for both players. A lot of StarCraft players are decent when you, well, just approach the game normally, right? And when the opponent does what you expect them to do. But this is an extremely difficult game to read for the both of them. How do you decide now where to go and what your next best move is? Infestation Pit is coming up. SHIN is going to be going into a hive here momentarily. I wouldn't mind seeing a Hydra den and like a Lurker den or something. I feel like going into Ultralisks from here seems risky. Second factory now starts up. I think that indicates that Maru wants to go for a fourth command center here soon. Yeah, he scans the main base right now and he will see no hive started. I think it's safe to go for a fourth command center for him. Question is, does he realize that it's safe too, right? Like, I look at this and I'm like, oh, okay, no hive started. But Maru may think of this as like, oh my god, there's no hive started, therefore there's an all incoming. No, not quite. Fort CC indeed does start up. +2 armor as well for the infantry units. And then we'll probably go for barracks 6, 7, and 8. Although the main base is kind of jumbled, we can still fit a bunch of structures here. Okay. Beautiful gameplay. SHIN has committed into a few infestors. What he really needs, though, is drones. He hasn't seen the Fort CC or the second factory from the Terran. So he may be making the assumption that this could be some sort of, like, 8-Rex push. It's a very common follow-up whenever Terrans are in a situation that they find uncomfortable. Oh, this is a great run-by. Great run-by. This is also forcing the entire Terran army right now to come back home. Yeah, he wants to kill the command center again, just like in the previous game. He has now seen the Fort CC too. Problem is, he needed to already be sitting at like 75 to 80 workers here. Even if he now cleans up these units, or trades reasonably well, I still am going to prefer the spot for Maru. Ultra Cavern, dude. Ultra Cavern does get planted. Ugh. Ultra Cavern off of 3-base economy? So we have 2 Infestors, 2 Vipers as well soon. Baneling speed coming up. I don't know, SHIN. There's the first fungal, but the siege tanks are plowing through whatever they can hit. Second fungal is also good, though. Zorklings right now going in for the back. These were the ones that were going previously to the 3rd base of the Terran. And yet again, SHIN cleans it up. But we don't have the economy to slow this down, SHIN. Like, if we were sitting at 5 bases now, sure, right? If we had a good economy, sure. But now we've traded out units. Maru is going to be knocked back down. SHIN is going to be knocked back down. But Maru is fine economically. Like, yeah, we see a little bit of a worker advantage here, but that's just temporary. Mostly because he was oversaturated on the bases here. Now with the 4th base landed, for the foreseeable future, yep, Maru is going to be taking a very, very significant lead. Siege tank on the high ground, killing some of the SCVs. Okay. Good guy siege tank here. I did it, Sarge! I killed the Zerglings! Good job, buddy. Yeah, you did it. Well done. Well done, man. You killed 11 SCVs too, but we're proud of you, man. So we're doing Ultras. Yeah. Okay. I don't really like Ultras here. Couple reasons why. First off, the economy is not really sufficient for Ultraling Bane for the Zerg. But secondly, we already have +3 attack coming up. +3 attack is really nicely timed, as we apparently had another nice fungal over here. But +3 attack is really well timed here for Maru. He's going to be able to just destroy this Zerg army until +3 carapace is done. So there's going to be probably about a half minute or so where he can take some really beautiful engagements against Ultras with just Marine Marauder alone. Well, this is still not bad, though. Yeah, Maru, he's on the run. Picks up the siege tanks. He wants to get out. Maybe use the Stimpaks, boys? Yep, there we go. We are using the Stimpaks, and he does indeed get a Viper kill as well. Backing up to the safety of the high ground. Really? We're gonna fight this right here, right now? Ultras are plowing through whatever they can hit. They will be going after the 4th command center. And even though this is... I mean, there's no way SHIN knows about the +3 attack, right? Even though the +3 attack finished, it was right after the fight. That may have just been the perfect and maybe the only opportunity where SHIN still could have gone in for an engagement like that. And now he's ready to apparently continue pushing through. I don't know, man. The siege tank clump is juicy. Corrosive balls are good. Man, SHIN is actually getting some incredible value. Still, though, this is nice as well. I love how Maru decided to target down the Ravager there that would body block with the concussive shells. 2 more Ravagers. The additional Rexes are now done. We are up to 8. That's good. Siege tanks yet again in this juicy position. Maru's done a phenomenal job preventing the creep spread in this game. Ooh, Vipers. Vipers are so expensive. Yeah, and with this particular attack, Maru seals the deal. What an incredible game of StarCraft. GG. That takes us to Tourmaline. Tourmaline. No, it's definitely Tourmaline. Game number 3 in this best of 5 series. Maru, by the way, getting so much value out of that first medevac drop that went across the map that I mean, I did highlight it a bunch, right? I mean, he killed the 3rd base, but after that, he sniped so many units as well with that same group of units. That is ultimately what secured the win for him. Well, apparently this time, though, on Tourmaline, we are going to be opening up in the most standard of standard ways for both players. I say that? Never mind. Take it back. It's been normal so far, but SHIN never pulls out of gas. Instead, we're going into a Roach Warren. 3-minute Roach Warren? Not even. A little bit earlier than that still. Wait, is this like a 7 Roach Rush? Remember the 7 Roach Rush? Fellow StarCraft boomers? Kind of looks like one. That used to be a common build in Wings of Liberty. Although this seems to be a more modern variant of it. A little funky. So, link speed is done. That's kind of what's throwing me off here. You don't necessarily need link speed if you're going to be going into a Roach opener. So, I am half inclined to assume that he's going to be committing as well to a Zergling flood on the back of this. It's not a triple command center build here for Maru. Look at this. It's a 2-1-1 opener. But we're building Banshees with it. Also very odd. Now, we've made Zergling speed, but then did nothing with the link speed. Maybe it's because of the fact, though, that Maru opened up with double barracks in game number 1 and game number 2. And if you don't have link speed against a double Rex opener, you are in a little bit of trouble. This is a 2-1-1 opener with, yeah, some probably Hellion Banshee shenanigans. Or maybe we're going to do the switcheroo after just 1 Banshee. Start pumping out Medevacs instead, and then with a 3rd command center as well. I think Maru did see the move out just now, moving to the right side of the map. He should really start up a bunker, I think, just in case. Do we not go for a bunker? Are we too cool for a bunker? Lair right now? Okay. Banshee is trying to intercept that group of roaches that was moving over here. He now realizes that they may have been rerouted after they got spotted. And we're just going home? Oh, shit. I feel like this right here, this retreat, is the type of thing that I could never do while playing a game of StarCraft. I don't know why, but whenever I go for a build order myself, I have to follow it through. Even when I know my opponent probably has it countered. I'm like, nope, I gotta do it, man. I'm very, to use poker terms, I'm very pot committed to my build orders. You don't want to be too pot committed in StarCraft. It's actually a bad thing. It's also very bad in poker, for what it's worth. Curiosity, I guess, kills the Zerg. As my grandma always says. Alright, Lair is now done. Roach speed coming up. 3rd command center is also finishing up. We are going to be adding up to 5 barracks eventually. A little bit of medevac production, but then we swapped around. Medevacs apparently are not a necessity for the time being. Now he's going to be prioritizing Marines for now. Okay. Now, one thing that I really do like for Maru after this weird early game shenanigans is the advantage of the creep. So even though this is now a pretty normal build, the main thing that SHIN missed out on here early on is creep spread. Because you usually go up to 7-8 queens at this stage in the game and you start spreading creep a lot further. Normally the creep would already be here. In this instance, yeah, Maru is patrolling around. He knows that the creep has been hindered. So in a weird way, SHIN has hamstringed himself, because really nothing much has happened in this game, right? I mean, they've been playing, they've been shadowboxing a bunch. But the truth is that going into the mid game now, this is going to be way more comfortable for Maru, just because there's not nearly as much goop. The more goop there is, usually the better it's going to be for the Zerg. Maru did slow down his own third command center by going for the second Rex. But I think this more than makes up for it. Obviously, it's not the end-all be-all, but having less creep to deal with is really sweet. Whee. Combat shields are going to be done here soon. Kind of funky, considering we opened up with a 2-1-1 to only have combat shields done right now. Yeah, Maru has been playing the Grand add-on shuffle. I feel like this starport has touched every add-on here. It went from the tech lab to the reactor to another reactor and then now to a third reactor. Very nice. Okay. Hive is about halfway done at this point. We are going to be making the transition as well to a baneling nest. Man, I'm really surprised that there's still nothing in this area of the map. We really need more creep, man. Couple more Marines here. Past that line of sight blocker. But here is Maru yet again. And this has been a bit of a theme. Yeah, you may have some fancy attacks. But what do you do when the Terran comes across the map and punches you in the mouth? Yeah, you apparently lose your hatcheries. That's what happens. This is one of the truths in StarCraft. You may have the brilliant strat. The type of build order that makes perfect sense in your mind. But then the Terran shows up with a nice push. And you lose a base. Second factory out front. Fourth command center. Barracks 6, 7, and 8 are going to be added on here soon. I think they're going to be built, I think, over here. This is the spot, right? It's clearly the spot. Or over here. Come on, let me be right one time. Yeah, and I just like these positions better for Maru across the board. I feel like Maru's late game is, in general, just really good. And now he gets to play it. And he gets to play it against a Zerg with very mediocre creep. A very mediocre economy. Nice tech, I will say. Like, the Hive is going to be nearly done. Vipers are out, right? We're getting the Baneling speed and all the rest of it. Do we not have an Ultra Cavern? Oh, wait a second. We didn't go Ultras? So why did we go +1 melee? Just for Ling Bane? Adrenal glands? Okay. Wait, so why did we not go Ultras here? Usually that's the main goal. Double Expo here. This base is effectively just thrown out in the middle of nowhere. There should be creep touching it. Easiest cleanup for Maru ever. He knows that it's there. Killing a couple creep tumors here as well out front. Queen ends up going down. Banshee does fall, but the hatchery at the bottom, likewise also, does get killed. Yeah, all of this is absolute textbook here for Maru. Now we go Ultras. I'm half inclined to say that he forgot. I guess he has to deal with a limited amount of resources, and he prioritized, well, adrenal glands +3, I guess, in a moment as well, and that sort of thing, but it's not ideal. Not ideal here for SHIN at all. Because now Maru, yeah, he can do the command center explosion. He's gonna start adding on more and more orbital commands. He can build up to about a dozen of those bad boys. Planetaries left, right, and center. And as long as he plays it out well, he should be in a really good spot. And normally that's difficult to do. I mean, I think in general it's really difficult to do, but this is Maru we're talking about. He knows how to get this sort of stuff done. Still, though, you need to be careful. Oh, that Widowmine hit was juicy. Backing up to the safety of the planetary fortress. Blinding Cloud is good. No way, though, you can really push forward. Nice siege tank snipes, and then the same as well for the Liberator. But these are the type of traits that will really only benefit Terran. Maru is making an investment into his future, okay? Just like your parents probably told you, right? It's important to make investments into the future. Whereas SHIN is kind of peaking in high school here. Like, he's just kind of playing, and for the time being, it's okay. But I think in the long run, it's not ideal. This is... I would like to dub this as the peaking in high school Zerg build. Where you kind of just rush around with Ultralisks and stuff, and you get some economy going, but then you just kind of die in the long run. Cloaking Field is going to be finished here for Maru as well in a moment. Next step in the Terran master plan will be things such as building armor, high-sec auto-tracking, a fusion core for Liberator ranged, Caduceus reactor. He's not done yet, and he's already growing up. Yet again, though, the Zerg is pushing through, and this is something that needs to be prevented. Blinding Cloud does work onto a planetary. I don't think you really want to see the planetary die here. Nah, this is good enough for Maru. Like, as long as he doesn't lose the position, he's fine. A little bit of a Zergling run by over here. Planetary not yet finished. It's not looking too bad for SHIN, but he's really not going to have much of a game plan past, like, minute 20. Obviously, things can change between now and then. It's looking decent for now. But I've seen so many games where Terran just holds, and then eventually they fizzle out. Zerg, that is. Good Blinding Clowns, though, this time around. Oh, a lot of the units actually also wander now into the main links. Orbital Command goes down. Planetary Fortress might be next. Maybe not, maybe not, maybe not. Nope, Gorozu Bal's not enough. Not a perfect fight there for Maru at all. Losing an orbital kind of sucks for him. Starts up additional gases now. Ghost production kicking in. SHIN really is trying to break open this particular position. Not quite getting the job done. Now he knows that there's a planetary a little bit further north. He's going to test the waters over here. +3/+3 will kick in a moment. Oh, this could be good, though, here for SHIN. Zergling run by as well in the meantime on the right side of the map. Going after the SCVs and the siege tanks. Say goodbye to the planetary. Zerglings, okay. And you know what? This is very much so a mistake from Maru. But this is working out way better for SHIN than I thought it was going to. Like, I have seen Maru play some masterful late games. And this is not his strongest micro showing in particular. The control is looking a little bit clumsy, if I can be honest. SHIN still with a very mediocre bit of creep. Still with a decent economy, but not amazing. No bank available, though, for the Zerg. Still has me worried. But he is getting a lot of value out of the army that he's got. I feel like SHIN, actually. I need to pay a little more attention to that. But he does not have a focus for creep. Really, ever. It's not really something he seems to prioritize. It's curious, right? All the other top-level Zergs are super focused on creep. I think it's arguably Zerg's most powerful mechanic. I guess Larva is probably better. But creep really is incredible. You get movement speed and vision. Those are like the main pillars of a real-time strategy game. Anyways, here we go again. SHIN just sends in everything. Yep, and the Blinding Clouds are good. A little difficult to see on Tourmaline. Ghosts have to run away so far. Planetary Fortress is gone. Command Center gets cancelled. Third factory is going to burn down. A minefield over here. There is, however, an Overseer nearby. Okay. 5 additional Infestors now added in. Man, SHIN is just sending in the skeletons. I love it. Just send in more bodies. Another Gorgon! Welcome to the Bone Trench. Factory number 3 gets restarted back up. Tech Lab, indeed, is going to be utilized yet again. Now SHIN is sending his reinforcements to the right side of the map. Oh, getting this base is big, man. That's so good for SHIN. A little bit of an ultra run by as well, together with some links here in the top of the map. And you know what? Maybe it's not so bad to peak in high school. SHIN is going for the professional athlete build. Putting all of his eggs in this one basket and ultimately getting the job done. Okay, maybe I'm pushing the analogy a little too far. But you get what I'm trying to say, right? Like, this has been a very risky endeavor for SHIN, but it may just be working out. Still, though, Maru hasn't gone for a real attack of his own. He sent out a couple medevacts, sure, but for the most part, he's been chilling. Look at his Ultralisk. Hiding under the tree canopy there for just a moment. Single Ultralisk harass. Oh, he decided to burrow. Okay. In the meantime, we do have a bunch of units over here. Yeah. Good snipe right there on one of the infestors. Good burrow as well, I guess, on the banelings, but Maru's bank is still bigger than that of the Zerg. I would love to see things like building armor in a setup like this. It is a no-brainer. It's extremely good. Maybe extremely is a bit harsh, but it's nice. Especially when Zerg is so inclined to roll banelings into literally all your structures. Just send in the Zerglings around. Okay. There it is. Building armor. Which, believe it or not, increases the armor of your buildings. There you go. It's a very descriptive upgrade, Dan. So certain upgrades in the game are a little bit more cryptic, you know? Like, what is the nanomuscular swell research? Could be anything, really. Could be one of my nicknames in college, who knows? Building armor, though, a little bit more appropriate for what the actual research does. Maru, though, really doing a great job, like, not dying. That's really the main goal. He's lost position a bunch of times, but he's not dead. He's making a switch on over, actually, towards Terran mech now. So we started off with Terran bio. Forced to make a very complex transition. In the meantime, though, we have a Greater Spire coming up here for SHIN. 5 command centers on the production tab. Maru just spent his bank. He's investing into infrastructure. He owns half a city now. It's a bold play. Let's see if it pays off. This is a really good fight here for the Terran, though. Vehicle plating will be done as well. +3 attack is already done, actually, for mech. So that's pretty sweet. Yeah, we can go into some, for example, Thor production pretty easily now. Could also just keep adding on more and more siege tanks. We can just use it as a way to reinforce tanks a little bit quicker when they ultimately do end up going down. +1 air weapons coming up for SHIN. Yeah, those Brute Lords are going to be tickling. Viper, though, with the flank. But now we are defending further away from home. Right? Like, Maru is now able to get a lot more value a little bit deeper out into the map. Problem is, though, he didn't make a planetary again over here. Wait a second. Why did we not make a planetary? Okay, well, that's going to be a dead mineral line. Except for these 2 workers. 19 SCVs is quite a lot. Maru also tried landing a base over here in the far upper left. He's realized now, though. Ooh, you're trapped, buddy. I'm sorry. He's now realized... Okay. Alright, fair enough. He's now realized that he may need to go and send a little hit squad towards that top left. Infestor sharking on over towards this side as well. expertly played here by Maru, although he needs to be careful he does not overextend. It always scares me, right? When you see Terran make this many command centers, but they have no bank. Maybe there's tax benefits or something, but you do have to have at least a little bit of like an emergency reserve. Maru actually unable to max out right now, despite the fact he's got like 20 command centers, and that could actually be a massive problem. The Corruptors are now starting to break through a lot of the medevacs and the Liberators as well. A bunch of Changelings get dropped down to serve almost like as a force field here for the Zerg. SHIN pushing this Terran army all the way back. And once the Corruptors are done, great fungo yet again, we can start seeing a switch on over towards Brute Lords. And at this point, we're making a lot of Marauders. We're making a bunch of Ghosts, sure. But this is going so much better for SHIN than it was ever intended to, man. Wait a second. Did Maru just throw it? Did he just fall in the classic trap of like an infrastructure addiction? Like he just made a whole load of factories, a whole load of command centers, and he's just unable to really put them to use because he has no money. There's no way, dude. This is kind of like one of those setups where you hear like an A-tier celebrity for some reason has gone broke. Even though they're making so much money, they just have more debt than any of us can even fathom. It's weird. How did he even ever get into that position? It seems crazy to me. But Maru has just managed to do it in a game of StarCraft 2. Like, he owns half the city, but he needs money right now, and he's got none of it. GG. Okay. That takes us to the map Mothership. Match point for SHIN. I feel like Maru really is kicking himself though, because both game number 1 and game number 3 really were very winnable for him. Like don't get me wrong, it's hard. SHIN is a world-class Zerg. But Maru knows how close he's come and that he made some reasonably rookie mistakes. Game number 1, accidentally losing his third command center to a Zergling run by. Okay, weird. Game number 3, getting carried away with the transition to the ultra late game. SHIN successfully confusing Maru with a whole lot of multitasking, getting the job done. So now we find ourselves on Mothership, a nice map. It is now allowing Maru to go into a CC first. Of course, this is a map with 3 different spawn locations, so it makes it all a little bit more difficult for the Terran to get attacked on, so it's going to be a quick triple hatch opener as well for SHIN, it seems. No, okay. No SCV Scout. No Reaper Scout. We're just going to be standing on the unbuildable plate. A couple feet off the air. Or off the ground, rather. Third command center fired up as well. Okay, a nice greedy start here for the Terran. Pretty risky, though, considering the map score. He knows there's 2 more lings out there somewhere. Come out, wherever you are. Alright. Hellion production is going to start up. Second barracks. Okay. So no quick Banshee shenanigans. This is going to be a Marine-focused mid-game yet again here for Maru. Maru's been very fond of Terran mech lately. Actually, I say that. He was playing Terran mech like a month or 2 ago. I don't recall him playing it over the last couple of weeks. Obviously, nothing has changed. We're still on the same map pool. We're still on the same patch. But I haven't seen Maru play mech in a little bit. Kind of would expect, actually, for him to go for some Terran mech in this particular series, but... well, now that everything is on the line, we're not bringing it out. I guess he was trying to make the switch on over to mech in the previous game. No Cyclone shenanigans, though, at the very least. Gas Geyser number 2, added into the mix. Lair, still nice and early. Roach Warren as well on the back of all of this. Stimpack in the meantime coming up. +1/+1 here for Maru. Finally, we also have a starport in production. This is the type of build that is pretty passive for Terran. So the main issue you run into here as the Terran player is that you don't really have a lot of map presence. But you are going to be able to finish up Stimpack before any of the main, for example, like Roach attacks hit you. So this stim is going to be done in about 5:20 or so. And it's usually right around the same time that a Roach push would also hit. No Roach push happening in this game, though. At least not an early game Roach push. We do have +1 carapace coming up. You could still go Roach speed and then make a stupid number of Roaches. But that is obviously much later than a hatchery-based attack. Lairs finishing. What's the main goal? Roach speed. No Hydra Den for SHIN. I don't think actually we've seen any Hydra Dens at all in this series. Curiously enough. Are we just gonna resort to the good old standard? Roach speed with +1? Baby's first timing attack is back yet again. Barracks 2, 3, 4, and 5. Armory right now added into the mix as well, so Maru can go straight into the +2/+2. It's one of those structures that was made a bit cheaper over the years, so it's much more easy to now make that switch on over. Scanning the natural expansion will reveal not a whole lot, like there's no spire scene, but noticing the lack of a second gas over here is a very clear indicator for Maru that this is not going to be Mutalisks. If this was Mutas, the gases in the natural would both be taken for sure. So that is something that that Maru can cross off the list, but there's still quite a list of options that do remain here for the Zerg player. All of them, though, are covered nicely with siege tanks, marines, and medevacs. I don't think you can really be all too offended. Going into the +1 attacks here as well for those siege tanks. Here we go again. Marines up on the high ground. How many siege tanks do we have? Just 2. Okay. Important to lift the command center. I mean, I shouldn't point this out, but yeah, when it takes damage, we definitely should. SCVs get pulled, man. Really? We're just gonna jump this? I find this a little unnecessary. Yeah, now suddenly the Zerglings show up. Now the SCV pool would have made a lot of sense. I mean, it's a cleanup in the end, but did we really need to lose 11 SCVs there in total? Maru may be getting a little bit carried away. Infestation pit now. 4th hatchery as well. SHIN droning up very hard on 3 bases. Where are all the drones? Ah, there we go. A little bit of a spore crawler setup too. SHIN really is playing some very spicy StarCraft. It has to be said. Like, this is very different than what we have come to expect from Zerg players. He's focusing more on creep this time around, but it's still only 5 queens. And the reason we're focusing more on creep is because there weren't a lot of Hellions driving around early. Yet again, though, he's blindsided by this push here from Maru because there's no creep covering the left side flank. No spotter unit at all. And this is yet again something that is going to hurt the Zerg so much. I love what SHIN is doing with the quick lair, but it is costing him the additional queen production. I don't know if it's possible to still add on 2 to maybe 3 additional queens, but I think he would massively benefit from just a bit more creep later on, man. Oh, this push here is phenomenal for Maru. 15 drones, and it's not even the end of it just yet. +1 attack as well denied for the missile research. That marine push that just arrived, just like this follow-up over here, completely unscouted. It is basically a game-winning push. It's gonna take a while to close out the match, but it's just such a nice thing. This is completely taking the wind out of SHIN's sails. Yeah, we end up with an identical worker count, sure. But look at this, man. +3 attack has already been started up. Right around the time that +1 gets fired up for melee. Right now, Maru can really let this just roll ahead. This is the beginning of the Terran avalanche. And while it's technically possible, of course, for Zerg to come back, Maru is holding all the cards. Couple Vipers. Baneling speed. I'm sure SHIN wanted to go Ultras yet again. Oh, this is a nice attack though here for Maru. Ooh. That medevac unnecessarily ends up going down. Marauders here, not even in the front. Maru's like, get out of my game! You didn't finish up the +1 melee? Get out of my game! I don't want to see you here with your disgusting bugs. Your units are literally called a roach. Disgusting. Get it out of here. Okay, Spore Crawler does end up sniping one of the medevacs that was half full. Centrifugal Hooks is not going to be done. We did have a Zorkling run by in the meantime over at the third base of the Terran. 4th Command Center landed all the way up north. Planetary coming. Good corrosive balls yet again, though. The Zergling run-by is not going to be able to achieve much. And I think we'll see our next Terran attack wave when 3-3 finishes up. Still a little bit away. It takes a while to get to it. But I think this gives Maru the perfect opportunity to just relax for a little bit. He knows that he just sniped the Baneling nest, so no Baneling speed for the foreseeable future. You're not really in a rush. You know that it's going to be a critical upgrade for Zerg. Not much SHIN can do without it. So, yeah, maybe SHIN is going to do a Zergling run-by or a little bit of a Roach push, but... No, okay, we can also just go for a Ravager Ling all-in. Sure. This is Ravager Ling Viper. Because we do not have gas going onto Banelings, we have a lot more of it available to transform pretty much all of the Roaches. Maru did not send out all the medevacs, though. I mean, no Banelings with a push like this? Maybe if the Vipers get some really nice Blinding Clouds. Good spreads as well, though, by Maru already on the tanks. But you know what? There's just so many Blinding Clouds available. SHIN going for one final Hail Mary. Is there enough for the Zerg to still overwhelm this? Maru falling into the classic trap of going for that Marine Marauder drop on the other side of the map, effectively reducing his defensive army by like 30 supply. This time around, the third base does fly. That's important. Reinforcing Terran units, though, are popping out of all of those production structures right now. And while 20 SCVs have died, 2 bases also have gone down on the side of the Zerg player. This time, all of the Terran structures are going to seek refuge inside of the main base. And while we do have a decent number of units over here, for the Zerg player, Maru is still able to just claw his way through. Because 3-3 is done, and +1/+2 on those Roaches, actually only +2 armor on those Roaches, is just not going to cut it. GG. And that means that this series will be decided by the map Winter Madness. The winner of this match is eliminated out of the tournament. Wait. The loser of the match is eliminated out of the tournament. Ah, it's a plot twist. Didn't expect that one, did you? No, believe it or not, the winner of the series actually benefits from that win by moving forward in the tournament. That's how we usually do StarCraft, and really any sort of competition. Nice snipe over here with that Reaper. Long series for the players, long series for the caster as well. Surprise rule. Suddenly you find out that, actually no, the loser of the series proceeds to the grand finals. This is a $15,000 tournament, so yeah, you definitely want to try your absolute hardest at getting this win done. Double barrack start yet again for Maru, building them both inside of the main base. A little bit odd, maybe he just likes it. Yet again, we did build 4 Reapers. No, we did build 4 Reapers. We saw in game number 1 that maybe he could have actually just killed the hatchery. Zerglings and Queens trying their absolute best. Dragging the Queens out this far, though, together with those Lings is massive. Yeah. Oh, see ya, Brenda. I think Brenda's going to die. Yeah. Smash like and subscribe for Brenda. She deserves the best. Little Zergling run by over here, though, in the meantime, on the other side of the map. Obviously, we've been very preoccupied. Oh, no, Karen. Karen, careful. Luckily for us, she's known as Careful Karen. Metabolic boost now done, though. Zerglings are going to commit to the run by, and you know what? Maybe Brenda died But she died so that 7 SCVs also died. She died so that others may live. But not those SCVs. But maybe other Zerg units eventually. This is actually disastrous though for Maru. Tell how much work just a small run-by of Zerglings can actually get done. SHIN is breaking open the main. Oh no. Oh, no, 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 no. While I do believe that eventually Terran is going to be able to clean this up, that is now 14 workers. 4 minutes and 20 seconds into the game. But, and this is going to trigger many Zerg players out there, this is a triple orbital command start. And I actually think that Maru's economy at this stage in the game is totally fine. Yeah, I hate to break this to the Zerg players watching. Even though there is a very significant worker deficit right now for Terran, those yellow mining machines are pretty good. If we have a look right now at the income situation, I mean, it's still a little advantage here for Zerg, but that is hardly uncommon. And obviously, we also did see SHIN commit heavily into the link production early on, which cuts into his own workers quite a lot. Still, though, I do prefer this spot here for SHIN. But it's very easy, I think, to overestimate the advantage you have right now. As the Zerg player, obviously SHIN has played this game for a long time, so he knows. I'm not really, there's not coaching for SHIN here. But it is very easy to get a little carried away and think, oh, I just killed, like, a base worth of SCVs, so therefore I am winning the game. Like, you've killed, like, you know, half the total amount of economy available for Terran. Well, turns out these mules, especially early on, of course, are just incredible. Yeah. This does not look like a player that previously was doubling, right? The opponent's income. Still, this has alleviated a lot of pressure on the side of the Zerg. SHIN now adding on a 4th hatchery of his own. +1 armor yet again. 2nd Evo chamber early on. Okay, that's something we haven't really seen before because he's not going really quick lair. Ah, we're prioritizing queens! I was wondering why the creep was looking so mighty juicy. We're going 7 queens and a whole lot of creep spread. Okay. Yeah, this is going to be a very different game now. Just like the absolute basis here of Zerg is far stronger. If we want to play a macro game, that is. SHIN is going to be able to goop up most of the map. Nice snipes over here, though, on a bunch of those tumors. But they function more like tumors now, you know? Like, they will go everywhere, man. Zergling's trying to nibble away at the ice over here. Baneling nest coming up as well. We're going into the much later lair, so this is nearly 7 minutes in. 3rd command center, though, will now finally fly on over to the low ground, too. Maru feels like it's safe enough. He's begun oversaturating his natural. The Zerglings jump around for joy because of the grenades that the Reapers provide. Ultimately, the Reapers do die. Brenda's murderers have been avenged. Scan now reveals indeed what's going on. And I think Maru now realizes, oh, this is a much more conventional game. Right? Like, he sees the double Evo. He has seen the amount of queens. He's seen the amount of creep. I think he's been able to put 1-on-1 together right now and realizes, oh, this is actually a much more chill match. This is the type of game he's been practicing for years. Even though he did fall behind a little early on, I think he feels quite comfy. Hydra Dendo coming up, and SHIN is just trying to effectively now stretch his advantage out. This is not a setup where Zerg is going to be able to win within the next few minutes, but this is a really good setup for SHIN to just play a long macro game. Hydraling Bane, by the way, this is gonna be the first Hydra Den in this series. Yeah. 2nd factory out front. Barracks 4 and 5. 4th command center already done. Wow, that's actually such a fast 4th CC. I didn't quite realize that here for Maru, but such a fast 4th is a big deal. Good scan. That's like 6, maybe 7 creep tumors going down. Command center is going to be flying on over towards the 4th base location here. A little bit of a risky spot to take. Difficult location as well for the Zerg player to push into when the planetary is actually done. There's the final 3 barracks. I will not be saying the numbers in sequence again. So we have 6 through 8. Right over here. Oh, look at this though, man. Like, this is the crazy thing when you open up with, like, 7 queens, right? Sure, a couple creep tumors go down. But Brenda is ready for a little poop party. I mean, she's gonna need friends. Yeah, there she is. Yeah, okay. Yeah, the whole gang is coming together. I mean, they're a little awkward. Because they're shift-queued in one cultural group. But ultimately, they all run out of energy. And the creep that Maru so, yeah, deliberately removed is back again. This is like me trying to do a little bit of vacuum cleaning, you know? My cats are currently dropping all of their fur. It's this time of the year that they are switching on over to their summer coats over the last month or so. And yeah, I can do a little bit of vacuum cleaning. Bam, there's more hair immediately. Where did it come from? From my cats. How much hair do they have? More than you would think, considering they're tiny. At least compared to many dogs out there, but they have a shitload of hair for some reason. Alright, Hive is going to be done in about a minute from now. I would imagine Lurker Den would make a lot of sense. Alternative choice, though, is Ultras. Ooh. 4 Dropper Lords heading on over towards the Terran's natural now. Maru's looking nice and entrenched over here on 4 bases. Ready to turtle up. There is indeed the Lurker tech. Income-wise, SHIN is ahead, but not tremendously so. Army-wise, I mean, SHIN is ahead, but again, not tremendously so. Overlord drop going in around the back. Easy cleanup, though, I think, for Maru. This is just Zerglings. Yeah. Yeah, it looks cooler than it is. But if it can serve as a distraction for this army over here to blow up the planetary, then suddenly the Overlord drop is pretty great. Boom! Okay, I was a little early with my boom, but point still stands. The Zergling drop itself, just a distraction. And look now at the creep spread on the minimap, right? Like now suddenly, SHIN with nearly 10 actions a second here is just gooping everything under. A little bit of first-person view. This is what SHIN is looking at whilst playing the match. This is looking to me like a heart rate of about 180. This is the classic, There's so many fires to put out. In case you're wondering what goes through a StarCraft player's mind. It's a lot of panic. Gotta try and control it. Another attempted roll-by on the left side of the map, but not going to happen this time around. But this is a wonderful spot here for SHIN. And this is... Let me take control of the camera again. This is what I really like about players that do play like clowns from time to time, right? SHIN doesn't need to play like that. Like, he is perfectly capable of playing the macro game. And we're gonna get a big macro game if it's up to him now. It's kind of looking like one of those spots, though, where he may accidentally win the game in the next minute. But he's going double Nidus Worm here. We're making additional Overlords, so I think we're just about to see a Overseer explosion as well. Taking a page out of Rogue's book here, I think. Maru needs to get rid of the map eventually. For now, he's fine on the bases that he's got, but he needs to make sure that he takes about half of the total map's resources. It's a long ways away, though. Ultra Cavern coming up. We have a Spire. All right. Gas really is the main bottleneck right now here for SHIN. I would like to see all of the final Vespene over here taken. Building armor already coming. +1 armor here. Nidus Worms in the main base. Yep. Yet again, we have another roll-by over here on the left. Boom! Another planetary down the drain. And this is now such an uphill battle here for Maru. How do you stop the swarm? There's lurkers inside of this thing, man, and this is why Double Nidus is so sweet. Yeah, you're not going to be able to clean this up easily with Marine Marauder only. Maybe it's enough for now, but obviously it's so problematic. We have another attempted roll-by over here, over at the 4th base. Not enough Zerg this time, though. SHIN is just swarming as much as he can, and another Nidus here does indeed finish up. A couple of snipies would be nice, but actually the snipes get interrupted. Queens wanted to go through as well to put up maybe a few tumors over here inside of the main. Maybe getting a little bit carried away, but this is still so APM efficient. That's one of the main late game advantages here for Zerg. Maybe it's not so much resource efficient to go for Nidus Worms like this, but it's very APM efficient. Maru can only do so many things at once. Maru actually sneaking out the base on the left side yet again. This is pretty much Maru crossing his fingers and hoping Zerg doesn't notice. Looks like he's going to be able to get away with it for now, but it's risky. It's mostly because SHIN has set his sights on this planetary instead. Maru decides to run the workers. He knows that this base is already dead. Say goodnight, planetary. Banelings actually do not get utilized for it, which is smart. Banelings are expensive. Zerglings are a lot easier to replace. At least there's another base mining right now on the left side, yet again. Maru flying his next command center on over in this direction. If I can just add one addition here for SHIN, I would love to see him mine out the corner expos ASAP. Those will be the late game bases that Maru will be looking for. And these corner expos are completely free for SHIN right now. I think it's much better to move the drones from your 3rd, 4th, 5th base to those corner expos and just mine as much as you can. When Terran gets comfortable, they will try to go after those bases because that one of the two needs to be the Terrans eventually. So if SHIN can mine them for 10 minutes right now and mine them fully, that would be effectively the late game victory that he's looking for. We don't really see that very much from Zergs, but Cyril usually puts a Nidus Worm over here and then transfers drones in that direction. SHIN apparently prefers just walking. Fair enough. New command centers added yet again, though. Now some Nidus Worms indeed are getting into the corners. Fusion Core coming up for Maru. Don't count this Terran player out, man. He may have been under a lot of attacks here, but look at the cost efficiency. He's basically for a 1-2 trade here for every single Terran units that he traded out so far. That's really, really resources or resource efficient. Double Nidus again. This time around it's Zerglings. Easy kills though for those ghosts. What can't they do, right? Ghosts are pretty good. Triple command center added into the mix. We have the planetaries though blown up on the left side of the map and many SCVs as well to boot. Still, every time we see a command center like that getting torn to pieces, it is resource efficient for Terran. Because Banelings are just not cheap. 50 minerals, 25 gas each. Maru's slow pushing his way over here. Maru needs this base as well, and the one in the upper right. So he needs all, like his entire quadrant over here is what Maru has got his sights set on in the long run. As he is moving more and more units, though, to the 12 o'clock position over here, he's also going to be leaving this base over here on the left side exposed. That's why we're dropping mass mules right now. Maru wants this mine this out ASAP. Blinding Cloud over here. Double Nidus Worm in the natural. Nice counters right there by the Terran. Little hit squad of Marine Marauder Medevac indeed is going to be able to take care of the hatchery, and about a half minute from now the command center can land. Zergling run by over here on the left, and indeed, this is mostly undefended now. Orbital command. Nidus Worm in the main base. Things are on rails right now for SHIN, but this is not Maru dead yet. Maru has got a lot of command centers. And really all it takes, and this is easier said than done, but Maru needs to take over the upper right-hand corner. Like this quadrant of the map needs to be the Terrans. And the clock is ticking on those mineral fields, right? Like there's a finite amount of money in them. These mineral fields running low would be disastrous for Maru. Now this is good. Wedging the Marines over here behind the mineral lines. No range units nearby other than the Queen. So the hatchery will fall. SHIN actually deflecting this base over here at the top is big, though. Would love to see the drones added back into the gas over here. Alternatively, Maru could try and take the bottom left-hand corner, but you know what? Zerg is mining this one out as well. SHIN has got money, but he needs to be careful he does not throw it all away. Now, this is, again, though, a beautiful run by. No mineral walk on the SCVs, so that's 18 of them going down. Now, the siege tanks are finding themselves in a very similar predicament. Tank on the high ground trying to help out. Oh, this was a really good Zergling run by for SHIN, who's now going to continue this over here as well on the right side of the map. 2 command centers get cancelled. We do have some Marines and Marauders trying their best, but that's not going to really achieve too much either. Planetary over here is unlikely to actually finish up. Yep, cancel, lift off. This once more leaves the base on the left side very exposed. Caduceus reactor coming up. That doubles the medevac energy regeneration. Ghost moving on over towards the natural again, because he knows that there's a chance at the very least for Nidus Worms. Yep. Overseer indeed was spotted. One Nidus on the right, one Nidus in the main base of the Terran. These Nidus Worms, though, are slowing down the advancement of the Terran economy up north, and here we go yet again. Zerg moves through. I love the abductions. Banelings are a little bit trailing behind, but the planetary is not yet done. He doesn't really need to rush killing it. Boom! Yep, that's another base down the drain. Double Nidus Worm now inside of the main base. Apparently that cheeky little Overseer did drop down a single Changeling. A couple Marauders are running on over, trying to stim in this direction. A lot of Zerglings inside of these units. The problem for Maru is just this sheer amount of stuff that SHIN is able to produce. Like, this is lore-accurate swarm to a T. Maru's running out of cash. SHIN not really run buying anymore or running by on the left side of the map, so that's something. But there's just not a lot of mining anymore for Maru in about a minute from now. This base is now becoming a necessity. Oh, Ghost gets surrounded. Banelings try to roll through. Hydra Ling just clearing out whatever they can. Nidus Worm yet again in the natural. Dude, SHIN is playing a beautiful game of StarCraft. This is incredibly difficult for the Zerg player to pull off. But this is the tried and true strat that we've seen Zerg players attempt for many years. SHIN switching away from this style over the last few weeks. Prioritizing quick 2-base lairs and all kinds of shenanigans. But going for the tried and true strat right here against Maru is a dangerous play, especially in a match as critical as this one. But he's playing it out brilliantly. I think something changed with SHIN's confidence lately. He seems like a new player. So good. Planetary goes down. Wow, I'm getting nerd chills. This is extremely well executed here by SHIN. Outplaying Maru in a 20-minute plus macro game is ridiculous. Like, this is honestly not something we really see. Maru really only loses to Serral, and then like half the time in this type of situation. Like, he's got, I think, probably a winning record against Serral in this type of spot. It's not over yet, though. Maru still has supply, and he is now securing this base. Finally, we have another run by over here on the left. This is something that should have happened a while ago. A couple of lurkers trying their best to break through all of this. Maru does secure the base right now in the upper right, though. That's big. Obviously, it's not over yet. My main concern, though, is that Maru's original game plan was to take the 3 bases in the upper right-hand corner of Winter Madness. And he finally now takes one of them somewhat safely, somewhat reliably, although it's easy for Zerg to push into it. The other 2 have been mined by the Zerg for 10 minutes. Like, these minerals are running out, and when they're gone, they're gone. At the same time, SHIN has also taken the far bottom left-hand corner, so that means that the map is just simply running out of juice. There's still a bit of mining going on. But I'm a little afraid that we're going to end up with Maru no longer able to max out and SHIN with like 10,000 resources in the bank. Mass Ultra Bane transition right now. This is a ridiculously cost-inefficient style. Look at this, man. SHIN losing so much money. But he's made out of this stuff. Maru knows how desperate things are becoming. Going after the hatchery over here. SHIN waiting right now for the Ultralisks. Ultras are hatching. Chitinous plating, though, not yet done. It's important, actually, for SHIN to not commit to this fight before chitinous plating is done. He decides to pull the trigger now. Those Ultras are going to be dead. Super dead. Super dead. And this actually may be like the one opportunity here for Maru. SHIN going Ultralisks. Oh, no. What are you doing? Are you trying to throw the game? Why would you go Ultralisks? No. Okay. All Maru needs to do is kill this base now. Chitinous plating at this point finally finishes, but it's after the engagement. Oh, look at this, though. This is problematic here for Maru. Like, he needs several more bases. Mining this one out is not good enough together with this one. SHIN really needs to transfer some drones over here, though. He's got 89 workers. I'm pretty sure he's oversaturating in several expansions. It's important here for SHIN not to lose the plot. Very easy, of course, to get tunnel visioned. But yeah, he's oversaturated in pretty much all the bases that are currently mining. Maru is not just gonna let go of this. Excellent work here by the Terran. Fungal growth is not good enough, is it? Oh, I don't think so. I think Zerg is not... Well, there's another Ultra coming through. Now, I don't think the Zerg is going to be able to break through this. Zerglings, though, are nibbling away at the SCVs in the mineral line. More and more Ultras are getting destroyed as well on the left side. Oh, Maru? Is Maru doing this? No way. Maru. You absolute god gamer. Maru's got 38 workers now, man. That's actually a problem. Do you even bother remaking them? SHIN still is sitting on a bank. Yeah, and SHIN still sitting on some resources here is incredible for him. But look, he's getting tunnel visioned. Yeah, he hasn't gone around a lot of his bases in a while. He should have transferred drones quite a while ago. Look at these workers as well, not doing anything. Hatchery in the upper right goes down. SHIN is running out of Vespine. He's got minerals for days, but not a lot of Vespine. Oh, Maru. There's no way Maru can do this, right? Oh. Such a dangerous player. Look at him, flying another CC on over. He's like, yep, don't mind me. Just gonna drop a couple mules over here. Mind the leftover scraps. Now suddenly, though, there's a Zerg infestation inside of Maru's main base. Zerg run by as well now in the natural. Yeah. And even though he can maybe only really produce lings, it just turns out that Zerglings are the perfect choice at this phase in the game. He is running out of larva too, though. When you're making this many lings, you do have to make sure you keep injecting the bases. Considering there's no queens out, that'll be difficult. All the queens have died. He's only really dealing right now with the natural larva regen, but that's okay. Maru's supply count is dropping fast. He lost a lot of production structures now as well inside of the main base. A lot of them that are still alive are flying. So obviously that means they're not producing. And I think... Oh, man. Oh, nice fungal, but no follow-up. I think that is making this maybe nearly impossible here for Maru. Oh, my God. Maru makes this still look reasonably close. But I think he just does not have enough money. I mean, he's got resources, but he doesn't have a way to spend it now for about a minute. And clearly, SHIN is just with his right foot pushed down on the accelerator. He just wants to keep going and going and going now. Maru forced to rebuild a lot of add-ons. Maru's been reduced to just the scraps of a few mineral lines. Still a lot of mining in the far bottom left. Yeah, SHIN is maybe not as rich as he once was, but he has got resources to spare. Well, you know what? I say that. He's actually unable to max out right now. But he still has 83 workers. He's still getting like 3,000 resources a minute. Maru's smashing his piggy bank, going into some more production. I guess he lost all starports? Yeah, he did. So he needs to remake it. I think slowing this game down is only beneficial, though, for the Zerg. Oh, there's another infestor ready to fungal. Does not quite get the job done. Good snipe by Maru. It's been a while since I've uttered the words, but game of the year? Series of the year? I mean, it's certainly one of the series of the year. That is something I can guarantee you. This is a series that has been played of the year. Now, phenomenal games. But I think right now, as the dust is settling, it is the end of Maru's run in the GSL. I do not see how he could possibly break out of this. SHIN has decided to maybe do some breathing exercises. Right, like he was getting a little too tunnel visioned, but it seems like he's got a bit of a mental check here. Oh, the banelings actually blow up because of the siege tanks. And because of that, the ice rocks do end up going down. Now it's only this squad of ghosts, really, and a couple of siege tanks that remain. Maru's got his eyes still set on these mineral fields up north. That's because there's just nothing else anymore. Maru's got literally no minerals coming in. At all. These ones have run out. That means the only thing he got is one final shot at this base all the way up north. Zergling run by now, man. Ay, 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 there's just nothing available. GG gets cold. And that means it is none other than SHIN who moves on to the grand finals of the GSL. Man, I think Maru is really kicking himself for game number 1 and game number 3. In an alternate universe out there, this would have been a 3-0 win for Maru, right? And obviously, that is something you can always say. But game number 1 was not bad for Terran. Game number 3 really felt like it was this close to being a Maru victory. And then ultimately, it is SHIN who, like, plays the best macro game I've probably seen him play here in this final match of the series. Like, he basically, he went full Super Saiyan right here at the very end. I mean, no argument there. But Maru, he must be incredibly upset about losing his orbital command. His third base orbital command in game number 1. That's all it really needed, right? You just needed to lift that thing off. And this series would have been entirely different. Either way, it is SHIN who gets the job done. And honestly, considering how well he's been playing lately, you'd love to see it. GG.